It honestly looks like you're choking Anna on this video. You guys ready for this? We're going to be choking some Anna here. You're going to love this. This is actually really bizarre looking. All right, guys. We're going to hop in here for Burks. Check this out. Look at this. Watch this. Here we go. Who's my main Overwatch? Probably this guy. Roadhog. Probably Roadhog. You're choking him with those little tiny hands. Those little hands from Scary Movie 2. This is my strong hand. What the fuck is going on? Can I actually zoom out of this? No, it gets rid of it. That's a shame. Okay. Sorry, Burks. Let's go, dude. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't know. Alright, poop. I am a sim one trick. You're a little forward right now. You're in front of one of your tanks. Great heal orb. You're gonna get quite a few bounces out of that one. Careful, careful. Not necessarily a mistake there. Your positioning is good, but I would say that it's a little risky to use your fade in front of a McCree. He was within roll stun distance, and he could pop you there. So just be careful about that. Be careful about your sides. I love you guys. Oh, 4 HP. Honestly, not much you could do there. I'm not sure where your Anna's going, but she wants donuts. This is what you get for choking her at the beginning. Oh my god, I actually misread that last word too. Holy crap. Anna, exclamation mark, does not look like Anna. Fade out of this. Ultimate. Perfect. Now, Burks, one important thing about ultimate usage for... Well, there's a couple important things about ultimate usage for Moira. The way I make it work and the way I find a lot of success through Moira Ultimate is as I use it, I will always pick a teammate. In this case, it's going to be probably Widow temporarily, and then it'll probably be either Zarya or Sigma. I heal the squishies on my team individually if I can, and then I pick a teammate, usually a frontliner like a Sigma or Zarya. Pick one, keep them as a pivot point, right? As like the fulcrum for your beam. Keep them always in the beam. Use your speed to maneuver around so they're always in the beam, and then trace on the backside. Trace on the backside. And in terms of tracing enemies, whenever I use a Moira ult, I always want to kill at least one squishy. Always at least one, if not two. You can kill two squishies if you just kind of like, right, just kind of like mow them down a little bit. If you're boosted in any way, you can kill 3 to 4 people. But the pitfall a lot of people fall into for Moira ults, guys, a lot of people fall into this, is they focus on the enemy Reinhardt. The enemy Reinhardts have so much yellow armor now that it's resistant to Moira ultimate damage, so it's really hard to kill a Reinhardt as Moira with Moira ult. So just focus on squishies instead. And you're probably like, as the viewer out there, capital V, you're probably like, MC, how can you be so flippant about something like this, right? Like, it's not that easy just to kill somebody on the back line. Well, au contraire. This beam length is OnlyFans tier, okay? This is some scary stuff, this beam length. You can hit your back line, your front line, the enemy front line, and the enemy back line all at once. All at once with this length. So huge props, Burks. I love this right here. You're playing back. Moira's your ultimate and play in the front, not getting much value out of the ultimate. You want to hit your team and you want to hit the enemy team. But yeah, good stuff so far. I love your orb usage as well. You just play a little too close when you're not using your ultimate. But for here, keep your team up, and you're probably going to want to focus probably like, I don't know, the McCree or something like that. Some squishy DPS who shows up. We'll see what you do here, but you're playing it right. Yeah, couldn't do too much damage there. The angles aren't that great, but it's okay. You saved your team through Grav, and you forced them to use Moira ult and Hammer and Nano. Holy crap. That's a lot of ultimates being dumped. I think they literally dumped 5. Maybe we have different versions, male and female multi-people. Oh, Yoav, interesting. You know, Yoav 66666, there's something actually really fascinating. There's this really intriguing, I don't know if there's much truth to it in terms of like semantics and language and stuff, but this guy gave this one TED talk. It was really fascinating. I'll be real quick with this, guys. This one TED talk's like 20 minutes on language and how language influences outlook on life. And he starts with saying that, like, you know, the people of the world have been polled numerous times to figure out which country, which citizenry is happiest, which people are the happiest. And his argument was that we have found that the happiest people are over and over the Filipino people. That he argues that they're consistently the happiest because the language Tagalog does not contain the subjunctive. Now, what does that mean? In the English language, that's could've, would've, should've. Could've, would've, should've. That's the subjunctive mood. The subjunctive mood is heavy and fraught with guilt and fear and self-loathing, anger, right? Could have done this, should have done this, would have done this. It's like the verb itself contains negative language and negative connotations. And according to this guy, his argument is that the Portuguese, well, it wasn't Portuguese language, it's Tagalog. I mean, I can't remember, it's been a couple of years. I think it was Tagalog is what he's talking about. Doesn't contain the subjunctive mood, so those people literally like don't associate negativity with their verb usage like most language users do. And then this last part of his argument, which I think is the most fascinating part, because I'm not sure about the other part, the most fascinating part, and this part I will agree with, is that if you really break down the language used by villains, if you look at the language used by villains in American cinema, in Hollywood, look at their language, listen to how they speak. What do they use? Almost exclusively subjunctive. Almost exclusively. Look at all of Darth Vader's lines, right? You go all through all the villains, they speak in the subjunctive mood. It's because, right, their language is fraught with guilt and anger. So it makes sense on the language level. Very interesting stuff. But another small thing, if you look closely, if you ever watch whodunit films like Knives Out, Apple in their contracts disallow filmmakers from associating bad guys with Apple products. So if you ever watch a whodunit film, anyone who's carrying an Apple product is a good guy. I just ruined Hollywood for you. Okay, here we go. Singular day. Oh, Kingdom, thank you. Stage 4 or Stage 5 linguistic error? It's weird. I didn't know that there were stages. What's up, Gubessive? Hey, Core. This is good stuff, good healing. I love that you always stay behind your tanks. Except at that opening bit when the hog was behind you, but I think that had more to do with the hog's positioning and less to do with yours. This is good stuff so far, so you haven't done anything wrong. You could definitely be using all of this time though. So that is one thing, Burks. Real quick, look at the enemy lineup here and figure out like whether or not they can delete you in one shot. And the only person who can do that here is Hanzo. everybody outside of that isn't really going to be deleting you in one bullet. So what you could do here is you could post up a little bit and do a little more right-click damage. You know, eat shields, damage the Reinhardt. Just do a little damage here and there. Whenever you're not left-clicking and your team is like see, both these guys are 90% plus. They're really healthy. You should just be doing damage to the Reinhardt here. Kabesif, I think you are coming up. I just saw you this morning. You're going to be probably around like 4:30 today. So like 2.5 hours, if that's okay. If not, let me know, okay? We're doing Roman up next. Also, thanks for looking up the technicalities piece. I love that stuff. Nice try. Yeah, that sound cue in the back kind of confused you. Don't worry about it though. Careful, careful, careful. Oh, you got stuck on the wall. You're out of juicy juice. Yeah, here. So you guys, if you do play Moira, Moira's kind of in a rough spot right now in the meta, and that's okay. But you can still find a lot of success from her. But when I play her on like my Smurf accounts and stuff, to find success from Moira, you have to be doing damage. That's how you find success in Moira. So here, when you notice when you're backing up and your tanks are still alive and your other healer's still alive and you're still alive, and the 2 DPS are off on the right, Hanzo and McCree are alone, you need to go kill them with your tanks. They should be dead. Outside of that though, the big indicator that I'm reading here, you're running out of resources when neither you nor the other healer has died yet, at least in this engagement. And so basically you're overhealing 1 and you're not doing enough damage 2 to make sure you have resources. That's unlucky. The one thing that could insta kill you just got you. That's unlucky.
I must reflect upon this.
That's true, Geo, yeah. You're correct, but it can also depend. A lot of it comes down to creative taste as well. Hishide. Oh, this is Arya's a little optimistic with her. She just ran into the dragon. You can't save that as a Moira. Oh my god. Yo. You know what this reminds me of? I played 2 DPS games on a Smurf at like 34, 3500 or something. I was running around with something like 22 deaths and still gold elims and gold damage, which was astounding to me. But all the times I died, out of the 22 deaths, 17 of them were Hanzo headshots. And he didn't kill anybody else in the entire game. Just me. That's what you're going through right here. This is just super unlucky. Super unlucky.
We must all make sacrifices.
See, your Hanzo's getting replies. That's an... What's up with these people and their optimistic dragons?
I am on fire.
That dragon's not gonna do anything. Well, I guess maybe he's trying to match economy with No, he's not matching economy with Zarya. Here we go. This is good healing, good positioning. Your job here, though, Burks, your job here is actually, while you're keeping your team up, you also need to monitor this. You also have to keep an eye on the flank here, as a Moira. Keep an eye on the flank right there. This is a little close, but it's not too close for comfort. You should still be okay. Okay, small mistake. This is... I see this a lot with ultimates like Widow's ultimate, right? Wall hacking. I see this with Tranquility. I see it with beat usage, with nano usage. There are a lot of ultimates in this game where if you use it too soon, you're short selling yourself a little bit. So a lot of people use Moira's ultimate to immediately reply to an enemy's ultimate, to an enemy Moira ult. That's kind of, it's good thinking, but it's not a good habit. If you want to find a lot of really, like, some really, really good success on Moira, especially through her ultimate usage, the best window to abuse people with your ultimate is actually maybe 3 or 4 seconds after the enemy Moira has used her ultimate, and that's literally like the prime opportunity. That is the prime opportunity. There are a lot of reasons why. I can break them all down, but here basically, this is where your team is, right? That's where the enemy Moira is. Your entire team can just take a few steps. These guys can take a few steps upward. These guys can take a few steps downward. And this Moira is all of a sudden hitting nothing with her ultimate. Now, the reason why I discourage people from using Moira ult as a response to Moira ult is because when an enemy Moira ult is coming your way, your team is naturally going to either hide or play at off angles in such a way that you can't align anyone for your own ultimate. So she owns like the space in such a way that you're actually not going to get any value, any substantive value out of your Moira ult usage here. So when an enemy Moira ults, which is going to be pretty often when you run a Moira, people tend to run counter Moiras. What you want to do is you want to wait 3 to 4 seconds. Wait for her to use her ult. Wait for your team to delta split properly and play away from her ultimate. And then when you reply with yours after the fact, while hers is still going. Now remember, this is going to sound weird, but like I've taken Moira to like 43, 44. So then this was literally like how I was able to wedge success out of my games on Moira. This is how it's done. When this Moira ult goes off, okay, don't immediately reply. Wait 3 to 4 seconds, then reply. What that does is, right, number one, it allows your team to play away from her ultimate. You're not going to get any value out of yours when your team is playing away from hers, so don't use it immediately. Once your team realizes, hey, we're not dying to this Moira ult, they tend to kind of hide in their positions, and then they regroup in their positions, and then they push out as a team, almost always. When there's about 2 seconds remaining in her ultimate, the enemy team is going to feel incredibly inclined to push forward into your team because they're going to want to get more out of the Moira ult, and they're going to think, hey, we're protected here. We have the Moira ult healing us. We can push in and get value. So when that ultimate is going, they're going to be inclined to press W, right? When a nano boost is going, the Reinhardt who's nano boosted from an Ana is going to be inclined to press W, right? So you can actually make them play into your hand. So if you wait 3 to 4 seconds so that she only has like 2 or 3 seconds remaining on her ultimate, the enemy team will almost always, and this is even true in like 4,500 games, they will almost always over position to get value out of her ultimate and to potentially get picks because they understand that your team is split. Now, if you wait just right and you drop your ultimate, you get a whole bunch of goodies. Your team is ready to go to take advantage of yours. Their team is out of position. Also, the enemy Moira, if you actually trace her a little bit, you can force her into a defensive position and you can force her to immediately spending Fade as well, right? If you do damage to her at the end of her ultimate, she is going to be very heavily inclined to Fade immediately after, which opens her up to death in more ways than one right after, especially since they've over-positioned. And since they've over-positioned and now your team is ready to go, drop your ultimate, your team is going to play in the beam, and you can get a ton of value off of the W pressing, and your team doesn't need to take much space because they're already there. So like this pattern, I have seen this pattern happen every game I have ever played Moira from. I never played Moira like under like 2K or something because she didn't exist. But from 2K to 4,500, it's the same thing. If you use your ultimate the same time she does, you cancel both out, nothing happens, nobody wins. If you let her ultimate run for 3 to 4 seconds and then you drop yours, you have the upper hand. Always. Always, always, always. That's one of the biggest and most effective Moira tips I can give. It's like the same concept as like, think about 2 Reinhardts standing like this. Both have an Ana, right? Nano boost comes to the enemy Reinhardt. He has to walk over before he can swing, and the enemy Reinhardt this Reinhardt can walk away before the other guy gets a swing in. In that intervening time, in the time it takes for their Reinhardt to get up to your Reinhardt to get value out of the nano boost, you should just wait, right? You're just going to let him walk to your Reinhardt maybe 2-3 seconds, and then you're going to nano. That way, when his nano ends, yours is still going, and you get immediate value out of yours. Same concept, but just with Moira ults, right? Let hers go for about 3 to 4 seconds. It's not instant kill potential. Nobody's going to die immediately. Then drop yours later. Yeah. Put my headphones on for a sec. How come? What's up, Valithria? If you're around in like an hour and a half, we'll be able to check out your VOD. I think you go by Zigalithria. I don't know. There's a Z and a G in there. Oh, Moira has been playing this whole time? Oh, it's not that bad. That's not that bad. Well, now you know. Now you'll never forget. But yeah, the biggest tip I can give is don't spend it immediately. Wait a few seconds. Peace. You can ult first if you want. You can ult first. That's fine. Just hope that your team is able to get some kind of value out of it if you know the enemy Moira has an ultimate to reply. But the thing that you need to be wary of if you're the person who ults first is where you're positioning, where you end up on the back end.
Switching sides.
Yeah, I don't know why the player freezes those noises. Sorry, guys. Just be careful about not over positioning. That's really how you make sure that you don't lose when you ult. And like, you know what made me realize this in games? It wasn't like I used to always just instantly reply with Q in like my GM top 500 games with Moira. And like, it was like whatever, it's just like everything comes out in the wash. But what really made me understand was playing a lot of Mayhem. Playing Moira on Mayhem. Really made me understand a lot of like the small bits of Moira. How loud do you guys have your sound? Jesus, it's nuts. Maybe my ears are sensitive and I just turned everything down. Okay, so now we're doing Mercy. So just stay at the back of the cart. Whenever you're not healing, definitely blue beam this Obi-Wan guy here. But yeah, Zalithria, if you're still here, we're going to be looking at Roman's VOD after this. And then we have to get back to this normal schedule. And then if you're still here in like an hour and a half, we can check yours out. But if you're not, we can save it for tomorrow as well. And I apologize about the confusion with the schedule and stuff. There's just a lot of folks who need a lot of stuff done. I apologize. I don't mean to sideline anyone or forget anyone. It's not my intention. We did watch a little bit of your play on Dorado, though. You got that zippy Mercy on lock. Huge props. Big res. Risky, but paid off. Very surprised the Reinhardt went to swing for you instead of charge. This is good. Anna pushes cart, you stay up. PMA feet. Good vault, but your team is so split. You're gonna have to go back and forth quite a bit. Yeah, get the Rhine, turn around. Yeah, there you go. I think there is somebody on your flank, but you'll be okay. So good stuff. I like your verticality, your vertical positioning. Okay, Core. It's coming up next, okay? Get some sleep afterward, my man. You guys are very sweet for hanging out with me today. Kind of in a little bit of a funk lately, but we'll get there. Oh boy, use the crouch. Nice. Nice. Yeah, Zebra, that's the worst. I usually just say, alright guys, heals on cart then. If you want heals, I'm on cart. And then I just don't say anything after that. This is good stuff. Your Mercy play is pretty phenomenal. I want to not congratulate you, but like, thank you for your Valk play before. When you Valked on point 2, the only mistake you made is that when you're going for the Genji Reinhardt who are inside the room, click the Reinhardt, establish that connection, and then turn around and check on your backline, and then go back and then look at the Reinhardt. You spent like, I think it was almost like 4, 5, 6 full seconds just like watching the Reinhardt and the Genji through the wall while healing them. When you got that connection, good to go, turn around. But in terms of your verticality, I like that you weren't too high so that you can't get sniped over the walls or killed by some flying Doom or an Echo or a Pharah or something. And you weren't too low so as to die from like a Reinhardt, that kind of thing. You were just kind of in the middle space, which is perfect. Very good job. Poopy Garbage, aka Diapers. You called somebody Diapers? You're such a diaper. This is great movement, great healing. Okay, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to figure out what exactly was the difference between your Moira round and your Mercy round in terms of healing. I think on Mercy, well, you don't run out of resources on Mercy. I'm getting massive deja vu right now. Holy shit. Holy moly, huge deja vu. Okay, it's still going. Anyway, yeah. Okay, wow. Oh my god. Okay. A huge deja vu. Okay. I think you're not running out of resources and you're just playing a little further back, and I think maybe you're able to heal teammates who overextend left and right a little more effectively as Mercy than you can as Moira. Big sad Zebra Cracker. I love you, Zebra. You take care of my dude, okay? I hope everything is well. Interesting. Not much you could do about that one. If you try to go heal that Reinhardt, you definitely die there. Good res position. Your team should just totally full on back up here and regroup as 6. Good heals, good movement, good res, good eyes. You didn't want to go heal that Reinhardt because if you did, you would have been shot from above and you would have died for sure. Bitch face out. Great awareness. Oh, that's so unlucky. You did nothing wrong. I think there, yeah, honestly, it's a total coin flip. You know, do you Vulcan go forward and hopefully don't get hit by Grav, or Vulcan go backward and hopefully don't die to the Pharah? Total coin flip. Happen to get grabbed. I don't think your Vulc saves everyone from Grav anyway, because the Pharah's coming in doing a lot of damage. Good position, good awareness. Not much you can do about that one. But if you're on something like a BAP or a Zen, you may be able to kill the Pharah. I'm also going to sneeze at it here in a second. Good positioning. Whoever controls these stairs controls this point. Control these stairs. Nice. Good damage boost. Zarya needs help. Yeah. Okay, so one thing that is plaguing, not plaguing you, but it's plaguing this team. Your team is dying all over the place. Yeah. I don't know why Hanzo's dead over there. I don't know why Reinhardt is dead behind the cart and Zarya died behind the boxes. So this is consistently happening throughout this game, and it's not your fault per se, but you can do things to remedy this. The way you fix this is by jumping on jumping on comms and just being like, LOS guys, you're LOSing. I can't see you Reinhardt, can't see you Zarya, can't see you Hanzo. Play with the team guys, play back with the team. Try to get people to group up. I think that is now the issue for your team. And this is the stuff that was really hurting when you were playing Moira. You can't heal these guys at all. Maybe if you get lucky with a Moira ult or a Moira orb, it's a little easier for Mercy to keep these folks up without having to use ultimate. But you're not going to be able to do it all the time. You just have to bring your team back. You've got to bring your team together here. Team's playing a little over aggressive. And it may be down to you to make that call. What's up, Kels? Hey, beautiful. Oh, yeah, Burks. Okay, so the Reinhardt on your team, the first death he had here on defense, he was almost on the Mega in their spawn when he died. He was so deep that, like, you can't fix that as a Mercy. Maybe as like a Zen or a Bap or an Ana, maybe as a Brig, maybe, but not sure as shit, not as a Mercy or a Moira. Nothing you could do about that one. The Reinhardt here and the Hanzo tend to press W quite a bit, and it's costing you guys. Geo. Hey Shiv. No Shiv, you're today. I think you'll be coming up in like an hour or something like that. not great. The Zarya on your team used an ultimate to try to win the game or stop the advance. Didn't get much out of it. Actually ended up dying. Yes, yes. Moira's great at killing Pharaohs, guys. Good heals, good damage. Definitely a heal orb, this guy. Nice try. When I see people who are driving on the freeway, you know how there's some people who drive on the freeway and they make sure that one tire is always hitting like the divider? Like, oh, this dude's driving like Ray Charles up in here. Stevie Wonder's just as good though. Blind driving. Okay, there's a little too much focus on your backline. Honestly, you're not going to be able to out-heal Moira ult and Grav and Deadeye. You're not going to be able to out-heal that. Only thing that saves that is like a Trank and a Lamp. That's it. What's up, yo boy? My boy. Yeah, this was your team fell apart. You could tell. There's a lot of tilt going on. A lot of tilt. A lot of people are playing solo games right now. People are playing off on their own, and it's costing you guys a lot. And the only way to remedy that is with positive communication. That's really it. Or figure out the person who's most obstinate, and then everybody has to play their game. That's really the only way to fix this. I like the dive concept, though. Oh, nice piece. That's pretty cool. Could you have played better to flip the odds? Let's see. On Moira, yes. On Mercy, no. On Moira, you could flip the odds. Like, see how right now your Diva and your Monkey, you have 3 people right here. If you actually were in here either damage boosting as Mercy, like the Monkey, or if you were actually in there killing people yourself as Moira, you could win these fights. Play like dive DPS slash heals on Moira. You could definitely win the game. That's how I find success on Moira when I smurf. I just do damage. I find people who are isolated and I just like, well, I just crouch and I just suck them to death and they just die. And then you win games that way. Kill people with your damage orb and your right click. On Mercy, it's much more difficult. Because you're like, see right there? This guy fought 4 of you guys, 2/3 of your team, and he's at half HP, and he killed 2 of you. That's just not good. That can't happen. So you can change that with maybe with a Moira, with a Zenyatta, something like that. Not with a Mercy though. With a Mercy, you're just hoping against hope that you're the DPS on your team can step up and like magically click. But I think what really would fix this situation here is something like a Zenyatta, because your team tends to play really split, and if your teams are playing really split and communication isn't bringing them back together, you have to play a healer that can actually accommodate split teams, and that healer's like Zenyatta, maybe a Brig, maybe.
Did someone call for
Mercy can kind of do it, but you get exposed here and there. Like, see how deep your team's going? If you were actually playing up here with like Brig, Moira, playing up and just playing DPS heavy, I think you'd be in better shape here. Just heal botting people is so coin flippy. Get this res for sure, nice.
I still have you.
They went to Florida.
Your support has arrived.
Little Timmy needs to work on his aim. And see, if you're playing Zenyatta, you could play a little further up. You could be getting heals on this Genji without needing line of sight. Could be doing more damage. The Valk, not the Valk, but the Discord would be helping people. But in terms of your play as it stands, you've done quite literally almost as much as you can do on Mercy. Maybe some more blue beaming here or there, but it's not going to make a huge difference in this game, I think. Here you want to be blue beaming this monkey for sure. Yeah, that monkey right there, you definitely want to blue beam. Also, another mercy tip, guys, if you're a mercy player out there, if a Junkrat uses Tire as an old Junkrat main, I will tell you that the thing I look for as a Junkrat are the beams. If I find any beam, doesn't matter the color, blue or yellow, if I find the beam, I know where you are, I will kill you. So if that Tire goes out, stop beaming people, unless you're Vulcan. Yeah, I think what you're looking for here are really opportune moments to drop your blue beam. And I think the moments you're looking for are when the monkey goes in and drops his shield. When he goes in and drops his shield, you have like 3 seconds to blue beam, 3 to 4. This is looking real bad here. Yeah, damage boosting tanks is really good. Damage boosting Reinhardts is really, really effective. Reinhardts and monkeys, my man, and Zarya's, those are really good tanks to damage boost. Reinhardt, it's like guaranteed damage. He's gonna land his swings, you know. Monkey can AoE hit people. Zarya mercs people, especially with your TPS boost. Yeah, he just got yoinked. This monkey's gonna dive in here. He's gonna need your damage. Definitely click Vice here. Nice. Okay. Yeah, your tank line is just getting smashed. Yeah. So yeah, your team is running a Genji, and they're running. Your team is running Genji, Rein, Monkey, and they're running a Reaper Junkrat. Not much you can do. Really, what you can do here, you're not going to be able to out-heal Reaper Junkrat DPS on any healer at all. The only way you're going to be able to stop that is by killing them. And you have to kill them with like a Brig, Bap, Zen, something like that. Moira, if you're very aggressive. Boosting Sigma is very effective. Yeah, he does a lot of damage. There's a lot of damage. Okay. So Burks, there really wasn't anything on Mercy that you could have done to explicitly win this game. Your Mercy play is really good. I like your spacing. You do leave your front line alone here or there, but it's not necessarily to the detriment of your team. You didn't like explicitly lose anything because of not touching your front line with either blue or yellow beam, but there were moments where you could have kept people up here or there. It's not too many moments. It's just kind of like Mercy's kit. She can only do so much, you know. On your Moira, though, you could definitely be more effective in terms of dealing damage. On your Moira, you spend a lot of liminal time. Like, if you know that neither Reinhardt is interested in fighting, both are backing up. They're backing up. They're waiting on heals. They're waiting on bubbles. Right? They don't have the abilities to get in and fight. And you use those moments routinely here in this game to just like spray people. You'll just like spray, and then kind of just keep maneuvering and spray. Those moments, step up a little bit, get that right click going either on the enemy Reinhardt shield or like a DPS who's overstepped the shield. There are a lot of moments here for you to kill people with DPS from Moira, not just the Pharah. And that's how I find success on Moira up through Masters and into GM. It's with damage. It's with damage and positioning yourself in such a way that you can open up the enemy team and do damage without dying. And the big Moira tip that I could give you there is, you know, wait 3 or 4 seconds for the enemy Moira's ultimate to fade a little bit and then use yours, and you'll always get an advantage that way. And she won't get an ultimate economy advantage on you. I like that you try to use bounces to your benefit for both heal and damage orbs. You look for ways to try to bounce the orb multiple times through the respective targets. That's good. That's very, very core to success on Moira. But you need to be right-clicking quite a bit more on Moira. But the big thing here to make this game flip in your favor was playing like a Zen or a Bap or a Brig, something like that. You needed something to assist your diving tanks and the Genji, and you needed more damage. And you needed something to be able to heal the divers on your team without explicitly without like too easily revealing yourself or exposing yourself to death. And I think had you played something that can pew on its own, Zen can do more damage than a Moira, so can a Bap. I think that's what your team needed here. Trying to think what else really would have like made this stand out. It's really difficult. You tried to get your Reinhardt to play back. He was just really intent on just staying in the enemy team and just kind of Ramboing his way through. That can be effective, but it more often than not, what ends up happening is like if you're trying to mercy heal him, you'll GA to him and then you end up dying as a result. That's usually what I see. You thankfully didn't do it here, and that didn't cost you, but his positioning, his over positioning did cost you. So next time when you play with Reinhardts or with main tanks on your team who like to over position, pick something that allows you to heal them at a distance. Don't pick something that forces you to play up with them, unless you're playing something like a Lucio or like a Brig. But if you play like Bap, Zen, Anna, you could stay back and you could heal him. Moira, you got to be up. Mercy, you got to be up. So here, the loss, I think, came mostly from the fact that your team was very split and diluted, very spread out. That made it really difficult for your heals to be effective. And then when the enemy team decided to take space and walk on you, they could do it with impunity, and then they could just delete you however they like, however they please. Teams got to play together, get some effectiveness out of those heals. You played really well, but the split team cost you guys, as evidenced by the fact that they kind of steamrolled you on attack. You guys were able to get quite a bit done on offense because playing split like that lends itself well to being offensive in this game, but it's not great on defense. So in terms of you being able to change stuff here, there's not so much you could do, to be honest, on Mercy. On Moira, you could definitely play a little Rambo-y with your front line, with your Reinhardt, and get some more done there. But I think the thing to make this work 2300 was probably a Zenyatta. Probably something like a Zenyatta. That way you can keep your Reinhardt alive with the Harmony Orb, and whoever he's swinging at, if he so chooses to play that deep, if you're throwing discords on his targets, he's winning every fight. Discording all those targets and you're hitting them yourself, he's winning pretty much every engagement. And that gives him more hammers, it gives you more transcendence uses. It's just a whole boon of things. And I think that your phenomenal Mercy play isn't going to be rewarded per se by teammates in 2300. I think if you work up with something like a Zen and you get into the higher platinum, I think you'll be rewarded for your Mercy play a little more often. Lucio's good with a Reinhardt, yeah, but you need a third. You need some kind of third up in their business with you. Lucio right now with Reinhardt is really good because Reinhardt is really good at playing super aggressive right now. Just go watch Cloudy for like 5 minutes and you'll notice that he's like commanding the Lucio as if he's playing the Lucio himself, but that's how he makes it work.